Married to a pop star, he lives the life of the rich and famous. There's no doubt that David Beckham is one of the superstars of the world game. Manchester United legend Sir Bobby Charlton was the first to recognise Beckham's potential, and in 1991, at the age of 16, the talented teenager signed on as a trainee. Just 1 year later, he played in United's famous team that won the FA Youth Cup. Following his Premier League debut in April '95, Beckham became a midfield regular in United's double-winning season of 95-96. With a series of spectacular goals, his star was on the rise. This miraculous goal in the first game of his second season launched Beckham on the path to superstardom.
Take a bow, David Beckham.
I always hoped it would happen, but as it has come so quick, it's pretty frightening, really.
Beckham made his debut for England against Moldova in September '97 and has been a regular ever since. With a fantastic selection of long-range goals, the rising star helped United win yet another premiership and collected the Young Player of the Year award. David Beckham's rise to stardom had been meteoric, but what is it that makes him a great player? Blessed with tremendous vision, the midfielder's passing, both long and short, makes him one of the most dangerous players in the world. Beckham's pinpoint distribution is a feature of his game, and those devastatingly accurate crosses can destroy the most well-drilled defence in an instant. And his specialist free kicks are a consistent threat. The dipping, curling shots over the wall have become a trademark set piece. Distribution and set pieces aside, his stamina and dexterity set him even further apart from his peers. With skillful grace, he can quickly change direction while still remaining in complete control of the ball. This allows him to assess all the available options and switch the direction of play with devastating speed. With no silverware added to the trophy cabinet in '97-98, it was a disappointing season for Man U and Beckham. Both on and off the pitch, life was becoming difficult for the popular player as his relationship with Spice Girl Victoria Adams received more and more media attention. But it wasn't all bad news, as he was selected for England's World Cup squad. Like many other great players with similar talents, their temperament can often be their greatest weakness. Beckham is no different, as a moment of rash anger on the world stage so fatefully proved. France '98 was a turning point in his career. After being left out of Glenn Hoddle's starting lineup for the first two matches, he scored from a stunning free kick against Colombia and was hailed a national hero. But he went from hero to villain after being sent off for aiming a kick at Argentina's Diego Simeone as England were knocked out in the second round. The British media used Beckham as a scapegoat, and his indiscretion received almost obsessive attention. They branded him public enemy number one. While his character was put to the test by the media and fans, United enjoyed one of their best seasons in the club's history. The critics were silenced, and Becks was completely vindicated. Less than a year after the World Cup, Manchester United won the Premier League, the FA Cup, and completed an amazing treble with a victory over Bayern Munich in the Champions League final. Having endured so much off the field in the previous months, nobody deserved to lift the European Cup more than David Beckham. Beckham had been in spectacular form during Manchester United's history-making treble and followed it up with another strong season in '99-2000. He was one of the team's most pivotal players, and his consistently good form helped United win yet another Premier League title, their sixth in 8 years. While he didn't score as many goals as in previous seasons, Beckham still managed to produce inspirational moments of brilliance as the Manchester United juggernaut rolled on. The only blemish on an otherwise stellar year was the high-profile argument between Beckham and United's manager, Sir Alex Ferguson. After missing a training session because his son Brooklyn was unwell, Ferguson deemed Beckham's reason as unsatisfactory. It was common knowledge that the United boss regarded the incident as a symptom of Beckham's celebrity lifestyle, a lifestyle he didn't condone. Ferguson disciplined the star midfielder, and the incident caused a sensation in the press. However, Beckham defended his relationship with the fiery manager.
It's always been good. You know, it's always been good. Obviously, a lot of people have their ups and downs with their bosses or their managers, and you know, I'm no different. But you know, he's brought me up from the age of 16 right the way through the youth ranks, reserve ranks, and into the first team. And now I'm playing for England, so you know, I owe him a lot for what he's done for me in my career.
In just 5 years, David Beckham had progressed from an unknown to one of the superstars of the world game. But it was just the beginning of what would become the most publicised football career ever. David Beckham's fallout with Sir Alex Ferguson prompted speculation that the star midfielder would look for a new challenge with another club. In the end, Beckham pledged his future to Manchester United. After their history-making treble, Man U made a record-breaking defence of the Premiership title the following season. Playing a key role, Beckham collected a 4th winner's medal as United won the Premier League by a record 18 points. 5 months later, Beckham was given the honour of leading his country in a friendly against Italy. At the age of 26, it was a career highlight.
It is. It's exciting because everyone's talking about this sort of new era and all the youngsters that have come into the team. So it's great for me to be captain.
On the domestic scene, Manchester United wrapped up their 7th Premier League title with more than a month of the season left. Just before the final game, their trend-setting Player of the Year unveiled yet another new hairstyle that created plenty of interest.
Not everyone's the same. Not everyone's, you know, it's just me. It's just something that I've done, and you know, a lot's been made of it, which I knew it would do. But at the end of the day, you know, it's life, and you know, whatever anyone thinks about an England captain having a hairstyle, then you know, it's what you actually do on the pitch, I think, rather than what you actually wear or what you actually look like.
Beckham certainly let his boots do the talking during England's World Cup qualifying campaign. He led them to a 5-1 victory over Germany, then, against Greece, fulfilled every boy's dream when scoring the goal that put them into the finals. It was the most dramatic and memorable moment of the England captain's international career. In 2002, David Beckham had the football world at his feet. Manchester United were doing well in the Premier League and Europe, and the build-up to the World Cup was gaining momentum. There's no doubt the England captain was looking forward to leading his team into battle. But all that changed in a quarter-final Champions League clash against Deportivo La Coruña when he was injured after a crunching foul from Argentinian Aldo Ducha. Overnight, Beckham introduced the word metatarsal to a whole nation. The broken bone in the England captain's foot was front-page news, and with the World Cup just 2 months away, the big question was, would he recover in time to lead Sven's men in the Far East? Never before had a broken metatarsal attracted so much attention, and in the weeks that followed, the public was constantly informed of Beckham's progress. There was a collective sigh of relief when it was announced that he was fit enough to join England's World Cup squad. Without Beckham, Manchester United finished runners-up to Arsenal in the Premier League, but there was some good news for the fans. After nearly a year of protracted negotiations, Beckham signed a new contract that made him one of the highest-paid footballers in the world. From the moment the England team stepped off the plane in Japan, the only face the fans wanted to see was David Beckham. While fans were swept along in a tidal wave of Beckham mania, England prepared for battle in the group of death. Although hampered by a lack of fitness, Becks gained some revenge from France '98 when slotting home the winning penalty against pre-tournament favourites Argentina. England progressed to the round of 16, where their captain played a pivotal role in the 3-0 defeat of Denmark.
We do! Oh, Beckham, we love you!
But their run came to an end in the quarterfinals when beaten 2-1 by the eventual world champions, Brazil. In September of 2002, the Beckhams became parents for a second time. But the downside of the celebrity couple's fame and fortune was highlighted 2 months later when police thwarted a plot to kidnap Victoria and the children. Following that came the bizarre incident that happened after Man U were knocked out of the FA Cup by arch-rivals Arsenal. Beckham was sitting in the dressing room after the 2-0 defeat when a furious Ferguson stormed in. The manager kicked out at a boot that flew through the air, hitting Beckham in the face and leaving him bleeding and requiring 2 stitches.
One of these freak acts of nature that happens and it's over. I mean, it's what a freak, could never happen again.
The most telling incident suggesting all was not well between player and manager came in United's loss to Real Madrid in a Champions League quarter-final clash. Ferguson left Beckham on the bench until late in the game, but the midfielder responded with 2 goals, one from a trademark free kick just outside the area. After the game, there was a strong rumour circulating that Beckham was moving to the Spanish giants Real Madrid. But Manchester United legend Sir Bobby Charlton categorically denied the departure of the club's star player.
David Beckham is our player. He's our player. And that's the situation as it is at the moment. He's our player. And I certainly expect him to be playing for us next year, yeah.
Perhaps unbeknown to Sir Bobby, the future of the United midfielder was being decided behind closed doors. David Beckham publicly pledged his allegiance to the club after winning their 8th Premier League title, but the rumours that he would soon be up for sale grew stronger.
We got our trophy back! We got our trophy back!
A decade-long love affair with Manchester United was coming to a close, but where would the gifted English captain land? And what lay in the future for one of the world's most recognisable athletes? Find out on our return when the David Beckham story continues on Immortals. In a decade at Manchester United, David Beckham's footballing dreams had come true. A star of the world game and captain of England by his late 20s, he was the most marketable and highest-profile athlete in the world. United had reaped the benefits of his skill and stardom, but now the time had come for Becks to begin a new phase of his career with a new club. In what was the highest-profile transfer in football history, Real Madrid secured his signature on a 4-year contract worth £25 million to United. After the 28-year-old England captain passed the medical on July the 1st, 2003, the move was official. Beckham's move to Real appeared to be a match made in football heaven, the game's most glamorous player taking his place in a team that boasted a galaxy of stars. But a team of champions is not always a champion team, and in his first 3 years at Real Madrid, the club would fail to win any major titles. In fact, the player who had won almost everything there was to win while at Manchester United never truly found his place within the Spanish team, and his once legendary skills on the field appeared to be in decline. But that never stopped the Beckham brand becoming a global phenomenon. From his own fragrance range to football academies around the world, multi-million-dollar endorsement deals to representing global charities, everyone wanted a piece of David Beckham. His empire was now worth squillions. However, However, fortune on the pitch continued to elude the Real Madrid midfielder, both domestically and internationally. England had a more than credible run to Euro 2004, but the side failed to impress once at the finals in Portugal, their captain included. Beckham didn't score a single goal at the European Championships, and his side bowed out to the hosts in a quarter-final penalty shootout. Portugal would also be the side to knock England out of the 2006 World Cup, again at the quarter-final stage. Upon bowing out of Germany '06, David Beckham resigned from his position as the on-field leader of the team. After nearly 6 years, he felt he could no longer live up to the expectations of being captain and star player. Coach Sven-Goran Eriksson also moved aside, with his assistant Steve McLaren taking the reins.
On November 15th, 2000, Peter Taylor gave me the greatest honour of my career in making me captain of England and fulfilling my childhood dream. Now, almost 6 years later, having been captain for 58 of my 95 caps, I feel the time is right to pass on the armband as we enter in a new era under Steve McLaren. It has been an honour and a privilege to have captained our country, and I want to stress that I wish to continue to play for England and look forward to helping both the new captain and Steve McLaren in any way I can.
Despite Beckham's intention to keep playing for the national side, when it came time for England's first match after the World Cup, he was a startling omission, McLaren saying that he was looking to go in a different direction. Many touted the prospect that this was the end for the most famous player on the planet, and the following months appeared to confirm that suspicion. Beckham continually found himself on the outer at the Bernabeu, and by January 2007, he'd only been given 7 starts in Real's 25 games that season. He seemed to be in a hole that he couldn't dig himself out of, but things were about to change. Beckham's contract was due to end in July that year, and with no renewal on the table from Real, he chose to accept an offer to move to another club. Over the last year, he'd been forging strong business relationships in the USA, namely with his Beckham Academy in Los Angeles, which was co-owned by the same company that ran the Major League Soccer team, LA Galaxy. The MLS had been looking for a high-profile player to boost interest in the US League, and were prepared to go to astronomical heights to get the player they believed would take the world game to the next level in the USA.
When you have players like David Beckham, and I don't believe he's going to be the only, he's the first, but I don't think he's going to be the only. When you have players of that stature playing in Major League Soccer, there is a credibility attached, and that is important as we continue to grow the league.
Beckham's future teammates were also excited to have such a high-profile player coming aboard.
We're obviously very excited as an organization. I think Major League Soccer is excited as well to have a player of David Beckham's caliber. I think it brings a certain credibility to a league that we as Americans feel is very competitive and continues to get more competitive on the world stage.
Offering David Beckham a staggering $250 million to play for LA Galaxy over 5 years, the MLS got their man.
I think it's been, a huge decision of mine and my family's now, because we've been living in Spain now for 4 years. It'll be at the end of this season, and I think that I've played now for 2 of the biggest clubs in the world. I've played at the highest level for 15 years, and now I think that I need another challenge. I've enjoyed my time in Spain. It's been an incredible experience for me and the family. The kids have loved the school. We only bought the house here a year ago. But I think, another challenge has come up, and I think it's the right time for us to do it.
Attracting mixed reactions from around the world, many touted the Mega Millions deal as a sellout. Some said that it was only to satisfy his wife's penchant for a glitzy lifestyle, while others simply took it as a sign that he could no longer play at the highest level of football. But Beckham insisted his motive was that he could make a difference and raise the game's stature in the USA.
I don't want to go out to America at 34 years old and people be turning around saying, well, he's only going there to get the money. It's not what I'm going out there to do. I'm going out there to to hopefully build, you know, a club and a team that has got a lot of potential. I think that's what excites me.
The prospect of his move to the MLS reignited a spark in Beckham we hadn't seen for well over a year. Rediscovering his true form, the goals began to flow. He was arguably the biggest factor in Real Madrid's rise back to the top of La Liga, where they stormed home to finally clinch the Spanish title that had eluded the team since Beckham's arrival. He was also recalled to the England team, playing an important role in their qualification for Euro 2008. So impressive was the set-play specialist that Real Madrid even tried to convince him to stay. But David had made up his mind. The Beckhams were moving to Hollywood, and there were certainly no regrets.
Regrets? No. I've never had any regrets through my life and my career, and I never want to. You know, I moved to Real Madrid in 2003, and I'd been given the chance, which I have to say thank you to Florentino Perez for giving me the chance to actually play for, you know, this huge team. To play in that white shirt was an honour for 4 years, and has been an honour for 4 years. And to play with the players that I've played with, to play with Zidane for me was the biggest honour I've had in my career, in my football career. And to play with the likes of Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, you know, for me, you know, there's no regrets there at all.
Idolised by millions, David Beckham has courted the limelight and turned himself into one of the most bankable celebrities on the planet. The superstar may be reaching the end of his career, but the life story of David Beckham is far from over. His legacy is immortal.